If you had to guess, how many ideas do you think are currently written down, whether it be in, one document or another? It just sort of include all the different categories that you mentioned earlier. Do you have even a broad guess of how many concepts you have just sort of waiting in the queue?
I can't get a number, but I could like see the spreadsheet in my mind and tell you it's like probably definitely a page, maybe more. Um and like stuff gets removed or just never done, but like definitely I think I could easily say a page of things. I have a page of ideas at any given time. That would be a decent estimate.
Mm, Do you have anything on that list that is particularly aspirational, something that you might not know how you would actually execute right now, but just, all right, one day I want to figure out how to do this?
Yes, yes, yes. There is one idea specifically, which I don't even know if I should share here. But
That's fair. That's fair. If you want to keep it close to the chest, I will not blame.
yeah, but you were very generous in the green room, like the alcohol was flowing and everything. So, I'm feeling a little tipsy right now. So, the words are just flowing. I would love to do like a version of the NPR Tiny Desk concert.
Ooh.
And it has like a very unique sound. There was a YouTube video that explored how to recreate the Tiny Desk concert like vibe, basically. And yeah, at the surface, it's pretty simple because it's just people in a room and they sing, right? It's just they get people in a room. And for people who don't know, it's like this video series from NPR. They bring famous artists into their newsroom and they just put on this really small concert, usually with acoustic instruments. It's really like an intimate type of setting. It's like not a big venue. It's like people crowded in a room and they sing. It's gotten popular because it's like a very unique vibe. Not a lot of people in the room. A famous version of this is like T-Pain sang all his songs basically without auto-tune, and that's kind of like what started making the whole process go viral. It's like, okay, they're like really stripping down these artists to like their core element or making them remix their songs in a very different way. And in the video I watched about the Tiny Desk concert, there is a process to kind of help recreate it, which is you have to have like a certain amount of like microphone bleed. Certain instruments are like mic'd up in a certain way. And one of the Tiny Desk not executives, maybe founders or audio engineers, popped in the comments and said like one of the key ingredients is like, as an artist performing in these things, they don't monitor themselves. They're not wearing headphones to hear the rest of the instruments and everything being mixed together. They have to listen with their actual ears to everyone around them and like adjust their vocal performance or their instrument based on that. And so anyway, bring it back. It's like that's an idea that it's very aspirational to me because I like audio stuff, but also the way that they curate this very specific intimate vibe. But it's like watching a performance in a coffee shop, but they somehow have distributed to millions and millions of people and preserved that.
That's
Is
interesting.
cool.
In some ways, that feels like a very different style of a project for you because most of what you do ends up being a bit more visual based and a bit more on the chat interaction side. So the concept of, all right, well, actually, I suppose I should preface this. Is the concept here to have chat control this band, or would you be inviting other folks in as the performers?
I'm open to anything. I mean, that's the point. That's the part of aspirational, which is like there is some like how I'm imagining it is like I build this scene, and the scene can do anything, right? Like I could stand in the scene, I can just like give a talk in the scene, I can perform in the scene, I can have chat perform in the scene, but the challenge of this particular project is not really getting chat to interact or anything. It's like
It's really in the audio engineering.
It's the audio engineering and it's the assets. It's like I have to commission the assets and get everything just right. So, but it's like combining a lot of things that I really like to do. And this idea that you kind of recreate, like I like the Tiny Desk concert because they recreate basically the space digitally, right? Like they record everything and distribute it and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of want to do that with the stream.
Yeah. And in some ways, it would be easier for you than NPR because, physically getting everybody in the space here would just be, all right, you have OBS assets or using VTube Studio, and that you don't necessarily need to worry about, all the instruments and all the hardware, all the different mics and amps and such. So that thing's easier, but then you have to worry about all of the software parts, but also the actual balancing in ways that aren't done IRL for Tiny Desk Concert because you have to have some semblance of mixing done in terms of the actual stream output.
Yeah, my dream would be to simulate microphone bleed, which I think if you're an audio person, you might know how to do. I don't. That's just a task I know that would have to be done, but I have no background in audio engineering, so I don't know if that's possible. But yeah, I mean, the very small version of this idea is just to get the overlay assets and then like screw the sound part. It's just like play the sound through however it's going to be processed through OBS. But I think the sound is such a key part. Like imagine walking to a stream and it feels like you're actually walking to like the space and like the sounds are more three-dimensional.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't sound like it's being processed or anything. That would be kind of wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the aspirational idea.
Processing it so much that it makes it sound that it's unprocessed, that you're going sort of the full loop there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I will say the asset that you're having for your model is chopped off a little bit at the top.
Oh yeah, but that comes with the territory.
Okay.
That comes with the territory of what's going on.